Ever wondered why simple tasks, like opening a door or sliding down a playground slide, are so easy? Welcome to the fascinating world of simple machines, the unsung heroes making our everyday tasks a breeze. From the bicycle you ride to the scissors you use, simple machines are everywhere, working their magic silently. So, put on your thinking caps and let's embark on this exciting journey. In the next few minutes, we'll unravel the magic of simple machines together. Ready? Let's get started. Simple machines come in 6 different types, each with its unique purpose. Our first stop on this thrilling journey introduces us to the lever. Picture a seesaw in the playground. That's a lever. It's a bar that pivots or turns on a fixed point called a fulcrum. This simple machine helps us lift things with less effort. Next up, we have the pulley. Imagine hoisting a flag up a flagpole or drawing a bucket of water from a well. You're using a pulley. Pulleys help us lift heavy things more easily. Moving on, we encounter the wheel and axle. Think about a car or a bicycle. The wheel and axle make it possible for them to move smoothly and swiftly. This dynamic duo reduces friction and makes movement a breeze. Our fourth magical machine is the inclined plane. It's a flat surface that's higher at one end. Ever pushed a heavy box up a ramp? That ramp is an inclined plane. It makes lifting or moving things to a higher place much easier. Next, we meet the wedge. This simple machine is like 2 inclined planes back to back. If you've ever cut a piece of cheese with a knife or split firewood with an axe, you've used a wedge. It makes splitting things apart a piece of cake. Last but not least, we have the screw. It's an inclined plane wrapped around a cylinder or a cone. If you've ever opened a bottle of soda or put together a piece of furniture, you've used a screw. It helps hold things together or lift them. Now that we've met our simple machines, let's dive deeper into how they work. Now, imagine a seesaw. What makes it move up and down so easily? It's all thanks to a simple machine called a lever. A lever is like a magical balancing act that happens right under our feet. Picture this. A lever is a straight rod or board that pivots on a point called the fulcrum. When you push down on one end of the lever, the other end goes up. Just like magic. But it's not just magic, it's science. The lever makes it easier for us to lift heavy objects. In the case of our seesaw, even a little weight on one end can lift a heavier weight on the other end. So if your friend is heavier than you, don't worry. With the power of a lever, you can still have fun on the seesaw together. Cool, right? So next time you're on a seesaw, remember you're riding on the power of a lever. Ever wondered how a flag gets hoisted up a flagpole? Well, let's uncover the mystery. It's all thanks to a simple machine called a pulley. A pulley is like a wheel, but it has a groove around the outside where a rope can fit snugly. When we pull one end of the rope, the wheel spins and voila! The flag travels up the flagpole, almost as if it's taking an elevator ride. Now you might be thinking, but pulling the rope still sounds like work. And you're right, it is. But here's the cool part. The pulley makes the work easier. Instead of having to climb the flagpole and push the flag up from the bottom, which would be really hard, not to mention dangerous, we can stand on the ground and just pull down on the rope. The pulley does the rest. So the next time you see a flag flying high, think about the pulley that helped it get there. What makes a bicycle or a car move so smoothly? Well, it's all thanks to the dynamic duo of the wheel and axle, a simple machine that's truly on a roll. When we talk about a wheel and axle, we're referring to 2 circular objects of different sizes joined together. The larger one is the wheel, and the smaller one is the axle. Imagine you're pedaling a bicycle. As you push the pedals, you're actually turning the axle. This in turn spins the wheels, propelling you forward with ease. It's similar with a car. The engine turns the axle, which rotates the wheels, and voila, you're cruising down the road. This brilliant partnership of the wheel and axle makes transportation easier and more efficient. It allows us to move heavy loads with less effort, and that's something we can all appreciate. So remember, every time you ride a bicycle or a car, you're experiencing the magic of the wheel and axle. Why is it easier to walk up a ramp than to climb straight up? Well, it's all thanks to the magic of the inclined plane. An inclined plane, like a ramp, is a simple machine that helps us move objects from lower to higher places with less effort. Imagine you're pushing a heavy box. If you had to lift it straight up, you'd need a lot of strength. But if you use a ramp or an inclined plane, it becomes a much easier task. You see, the ramp extends the distance over which you do the work. This means you apply less force over a longer distance, making the task easier. Inclined planes aren't just ramps though, they're everywhere. Staircases, slides, even roads on hills are all examples of inclined planes. So, the next time you slide down or walk up a ramp, think about the inclined plane that's making your journey easier. How do knives and axes make chopping and cutting so effortless? Great question, and the answer lies in the simple machine we call a wedge. A wedge is essentially an inclined plane, but instead of helping us move things up or down, a wedge is used to push things apart. Imagine using an axe to split a log. As you swing the axe, the thin edge of the blade, or the wedge, pushes into the wood. This small area of contact creates a lot of pressure, which forces the wood to split apart. Isn't that fascinating? Now think about a knife slicing through a juicy apple. The blade of the knife, acting as a wedge, separates the apple pieces with ease. It's all about pressure and separation. So, the next time you're chopping vegetables for dinner or splitting firewood for a campfire, remember, you're harnessing the power of a simple machine, the wedge. Remember, every time you use a knife or an axe, you're using the power of a wedge. Ever wondered how a jar lid stays tightly in place? Well, let's unravel this mystery. You see, the hero behind the scenes is a simple machine we call the screw. A screw is essentially an inclined plane wrapped around a cylinder. Imagine a spiral staircase wrapped around a pillar. It's the same concept. When you twist a screw, it moves forward or backward along its axis, depending on the direction of your twist. Now, think about a jar lid. It's just like a big screw. When you turn the lid clockwise, the threads on the lid and the jar interlock tightly, keeping your favorite cookies fresh and crunchy. When you twist it counterclockwise, the threads disengage, allowing you to access the yummy goodness inside. So screws not only hold things together, but they also make our life easier by allowing us to open and close things with minimal effort. Isn't that fantastic? So the next time you open a jar, think about the screw that's keeping it closed. We've had quite an adventure today, exploring the wonderful world of simple machines. Let's take a moment to remember the superpowers of each one that we've discovered on our journey. First, we met the mighty lever, our friendly neighborhood weightlifter, making lifting heavy objects a breeze. Remember, a seesaw or a pair of scissors is a perfect example of a lever in action. Then came the pulley, our high-flying hero, making lifting things high as easy as pie. Just think about raising a flag on a flagpole, and you've got yourself a pulley. We also rolled along with the wheel and axle, the dynamic duo that helps us move heavy things with ease. Bicycles and cars wouldn't be the same without them. Don't forget the inclined plane, our gentle giant, helping us move things up and down with less effort. Slides and ramps are great examples of this clever contraption. We also got to know the sharp and precise wedge, our splitting specialist. Knives and axes owe their cutting power to this simple machine. And finally the screw, our twisty helper, holding things together and making life a little less messy. Screws are everywhere, from our furniture to our toys. So keep your eyes open for these simple machines around you. They're everywhere, making our lives easier and more fun. Until next time, keep exploring and keep learning.